Live on YouTube. Let's see if everybody's awake. Whoa, it was a quick wake up. All right, we're live. Good morning, Jake.
Morning, Kurt. Welcome everybody to another episode of Making Turbo Pit Fighter. We're doing a comic book, going through all the steps. Kurt's got some. What's that you got there? Some teasers that you're showing?
I got our second printing of our second turbo teaser from Mixum, and they are sweet. This was a really good deal. Paper quality is out of this world. I had to add this texture to it, which is a newsprint texture, but we're back in the game. Yeah. We're back in business. A couple copies I'm going to put up this week on kurtbrugel.com for purchase. You can still get the PDF for $3. This is going to be also for our indie exchange. We have a bit of a short list. We are getting down to, I think we have 3 people left from IC3. And then our newest addition to the list is Jeff Lafferty. We got a couple other people too that I've reached out to and who have also reached out to us. So we'll start scheduling them pretty soon. So yeah, really excited about our second printing of our second Turbo Pit Fighter. I'm even thinking, when IC3 comes along, we'll have the Doom Mags anthology #1, but I'm also going to have copies of these as well. So I'll do if I have to, I'll make another print run on this. So, but very, very satisfied with Mixum, and I'm also going to try to figure out if anybody's out there in Canada, England, the UK, Australia, I think even New Zealand. Give me a holler and I'll send you the link, and we can try to figure out the international part of this, because those are all Mixum printing areas. So they have a print shop there in those countries where, for whatever your shipping price is, your local, like for instance, Royal Mail, which is our media mail in the UK, is like $5.25. So we're getting around the international, atrocity of being overcharged for shipping little pamphlet zine comic books. I mean, it's just absolutely ridiculous. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that. Reach out to me and we'll get set up, and we'll figure it out. All right. So that's what I got on that front.
All right. So you have a sketch you're inking right there, and what I think I owe you is supposed to be giving you some more stuff to ink. I'm getting somewhere with this lettering of Ken Landgraf stuff. I have 1 page done, 2 pages done, and I'm on the 3rd page now. Going through the script and figuring out what we need to do to finish out by adding letters and editing the art for clarity's sake.
I had what page are you on, right? What are you? Have you completed any of the pages, or are you you're kind of just jumping around?
I'm going in order, so I finished 2 pages, and I'm on the 3rd. Finish this first panel. I had to add these fire claws so that people can see Hellclaw's power. Right. She's destroying these little darts all over the place, and then the next panel, So here's how it was described in the script. Giant splash of Cromita lunging into action. Her hands turn into multi-turret blasters firing away. In the foreground, the mercenaries are reduced to Swiss cheese riddled with bullets. In the top right, we see Charvel protecting the three girls and her crazy mom, hysterical in the back of the stall. And then we have some narration here, followed up by Cromita raining photonic blaster fire with deadly precision. Cromita, criminal abductors, prepare to meet your end. Mercenaries, irk, ugh, ag. So I got to move this dialogue into balloons here, but um, we see in the artwork, it's kind of like a triple view of Cromita, and so this looks like I'm gonna have to go into Photoshop and put some speed lines in between them. Otherwise, somebody might get the impression that she has the ability to make herself into three.
Duplicate.
That's not really her power. Um, so yeah, I'll open up the file and add those speed lines now. And this is kind of where I left off. Uh, I have to open this in Photoshop, so I gotta drag this down onto here like that, and it open. My voice is a little raw. We had practice last night in Brooklyn, so I was singing, and we did 2 sets, so a little raw. Right, so I'm just going to get the pen tool here, and we don't really see. Oh, he made it into 2 panels. I see. He made 1 panel. Right, is that what he did?
Yeah, we were talking about that last week when we were looking at his pages. One of the things I've kind of gleaned from reviewing his work, especially when it comes to it being, with our stuff, because I also have pages that I'm working with him on for a Crom series. Um, he reads the script, I believe, as a whole. I've heard other artists do this, like Simon Beasley is very famous in saying that he doesn't read the script until the day of sitting down and then lays the entire book out. So I believe that there's a creative mechanism that jumps in there that, to make sense of the entirety of the page as a flow and a work of art too, if you will. He'll break something into two, in getting what he feels is going to accomplish the narrative from that script. So,
Yeah,
but
so
it doesn't go without saying that these three characters are a bit similar, and so trying to get them just separated is going to be interesting. Now, the text in this panel, do you have that laid out right now? I don't see anything.
you mean the word balloons?
Word balloons or even narrative. So,
So
like, how many balloons? How many pieces of text do you have for this one? Oh, okay. Yeah, we're in Photoshop.
yeah, so it's right here. It'll be well, this one's done. I think we have the sound right, so this I can get rid of. Yeah, all right. So he turned. It was supposed to be a giant splash, but he made it into 2 panels, so that works just as well. Um, so we have narrator followed up by Cromita raining photonic blaster fire with deadly precision. So those will fit in a balloon like this down here, and I'm just cutting and pasting. Now I got to get the box and duplicate that down here as well. Just trying to grab it. Um, where to locate it? Could be up here. I guess. It's not really in the way of anything too much.
You don't want it centered over the top of Cremita, because Cremita is in the center.
Yeah, well, it's got to be two lines. Yeah, because if I make it one line, I don't know if that reads really well.
Like straight across. I think I did that on one of the Conan and Dravanis pages that I'm working with Ken on. So and the gutter was skewed, like it was slanted a bit. So I even ran along that gutter on top of it, and even ran the text slanted. So the thing that keeps sticking in my mind as a suggestion, or so what if there's a, now you were saying like radiating lines or something to that extent, that is, basically coming in front of the other two characters, which kind of subdues them but also separates them,
Well, they're
from
already
there, and then like,
separated. I'm going to make some speed lines in between it so it looks like she's jumping from position to position like the Flash or something.
I see, okay. Okay, so just like going this way kind of thing.
Yeah, she's moving in lightning speed, I guess.
Yeah.
I think that's what he was thinking. He just didn't draw speed
It'd
lines.
be it'd be crazy though too, Jake, if you cut out this version in the center and then duplicated it on either side, and then just reduce the opacity of it by, I don't know, maybe down to 30, and then and then obviously have this is completely forward, and then those two blurry or faded images would be hovering over the top of and behind the center, but over the top of the two other versions of her cruising across.
Um, that's a good suggestion to think about. I wouldn't eradicate what's there. I would just ghost those other poses. I don't know why you would want to duplicate the one pose.
When you say, like, that was a thing with the Flash. I mean, I wasn't a huge Flash reader, if at all a Flash reader, but the whole kind of seeing multiple versions of movement,
Well, they did that.
peeling
I
off.
think Carmine Infantino did a lot of that.
Yeah.
A lot. It was
Yeah.
Daredevil would do that too sometimes. It was
Yeah.
Just kind of like a technique that was used to show a lot of movement in one panel.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm gonna so we can do that. We can ghost these back. The thing that I really need here is, I mean, she's not firing yet. And then here I guess she is. So I need some more like how does she get these guys? Is it a photo? I said her hands turn into turrets and there's doing photon blasts, whatever that is. But
interpretive.
Yeah, well, there are photons in the world. They're real. They're light, photons of light. And they could be weaponized in the future by a robot. Why not? If they concentrate them, that's what a laser is, amplified light. But yeah, let's go over to Photoshop now. So I have to pick out a brush, or sometimes I do art with a lasso tool, and then just make a selection and fill it with darkness. You know, Chromita in my mind was always like Machine Man.
Yeah.
Okay, I had the red circle of death, so finally it went away. I think I can do stuff now. No, it's not liking something right now. It says could not complete your request because the layer is locked. I don't even know what they're talking about. I didn't even know I had more than one layer. Okay, so I'm gonna get my pen tool and I'll just start drawing. But let's do what Kurt said. We'll kick back the opacity of these figures, and maybe we could even use the toning, the dodging and burning tool to do something interesting with their value. So I'm just going to go around and select first with my lasso tool. The panel before this, where Hellclaw is knocking down all these darts, I think this needs some more dialogue because there's a big space right here where she could be saying something. But what would she be saying? As she's...
Is it just a reactionary to the situation kind of thing?
Yeah, Bianca just shot all these darts at them and she's knocking them all down. That's what's supposed to be happening. I guess she'll just explain what she's doing. I am knocking down these darts.
Oh, that's so poetic.
All right, so here is I have. Let me center this. Okay, I have this here, and I'm going to make it lighter, like so. I can go very light, a little light, leave it like maybe like there, so you can still see what's going on. And I'll do the same thing to her over here. And then I'm gonna have to draw some kind of way that she's shooting them. So I can make her hands like glowing in this panel, and then they'll be shooting in the next panel.
Yeah. Even taking those black line outlined hands and reducing them to like a 30 or 40% gray, like, kind of just, blurring them a bit.
Her hands.
Those hands right there, right? That's what you're just saying, is that they're supposed to be glowing, or they could be glowing before she actually discharges her.
Yeah, well, I'm kicking back on your suggestion. The both of the instances of her. And that'll look like this. Right? And that, how's that?
I can't see anything. Oh, yes. Oh, wow, that's sweet, Jake. Oh, that's super sweet. So a lot of the thinking I'm going on when it comes to enhancing Ken's art is what they did. I mean, a lot of it's color. Ghost Agents, Outlaw Town. This is with who is this with? This was Rocco Jerome. Sorry. Colors, Christian Nisi. Letters, Eli Schwab. But I'm certain that they had as much excitement in enhancing what it is that you get from those black and white pages. We're a black and white book, so color is not a point of decision making. But the way that they used, Christian used a lot of like textures. Like there's even an outline here. Like this was one of the things, and I'm sure that this is included in the original page of art. But this it's a blue line now drawing. It's really hard to see, but it goes to here's a really good talk about that Daredevil movement. Here's another one for Ken, kind of breaking up things and moving. So, this comic book is very close to me, like in work process. I always have that stack that I lean back. Yeah, me too. It is just so. And I've actually been looking for more books that are colored this way. I found a book. I think I put it in my my comic shop haul. I have a second one. Don't tell my wife, coming as well. So, but when you're given something like this, it can be overwhelming to be like, oh, I don't want to ruin anything. But really what we're doing is creating a sense of enhancement in order for it to connect and engage the story just in a more impacted way. Oh, look at that. I mean, jeez, nice.
Yeah. There was like an 8-pager I showed you that had colors like that. It reminds me of that. It was in the Joan Jett book. Remember that? And there
yes.
There was like a sequence that had some like motorcycle chick, and she was in some death race or something.
Yeah.
I like that coloring. It's like bright palette and really intentional, limited palette, and just works so well.
Now, just off subject, because I have some color work for Crom anthology that I have to get to in about a week or so from now. So I am kind of gear shifting out of the black and white into coloring. Like, do you, Jake, have like a similar aesthetic to thinking outside of the crayon box when it comes to coloring? Or is this, if you were to approach something like this, would it be something to the extent of like starting with the crayon box, but then creating a psychedelic movie poster kind of
speaking
version?
Speaking of psychedelic movie poster, I just made my latest band poster. I got them printed at Staples. They look like this. And
there you go.
See if I can get a good view of them. So I used this kind of palette, this kind of like bright palette that's limited.
Wow.
Yeah, I don't know how to show this, but without here, we can go like this maybe and show it. All right.
Wow.
Yeah, you can. So
Green Girl.
Yeah, you know what? I was using as a reference, and it didn't exactly come out like him, but there's a Russian artist on Twitter that I'll plug right now. And his name is.
I bet you we're looking at the same person.
His name is Alexei Gorboot.
Gorboot.
Yeah, Alexei Gorboot, and I'll right now for a second. Let me. Oh, what happened? Oh, okay. I don't know if this is gonna kill my thing.
Do it on your phone. Right, just do it on your
Yeah.
phone. Yeah, just
Oh
grab it
yeah.
on your phone.
Right. We've been through this. Let me. Well, it'll take me a second to bring him up on Twitter. But Alexi Gorboot, I friended him on Bronx Art. I mean, I'm sorry, on Mags, and of course I just had it, but I missed it. Alexi Gorboot, and I don't know what his deal is. He's a comic book artist, but he's a good follow. He posts a lot of stuff. It says cartoonist, comic book artist, much love to the classical comics.
Oh
Contact
yeah, I'm
me.
following him. Yep.
And I don't even know if he's Russian. I just said that. Maybe, apologies if he's not Russian. He's something else. But so this is his color palette, and it's he does a lot of sci-fi fantasy stuff like sword and sorcery, and he uses these bright primaries, and like he's got the cool, he's got the warm, and the art is really nice. It is very classical. It reminds me of like some Warren Erie art, but with like this updated
Esteban
color.
Morato.
Yeah, those kind of artists. Um, you know, uh, just a great follow. And Cheese Wizard, I guess that's supposed to be like cheese. I mean, I see a little bit of Howie Chaykin. I see a little bit of Frank Thorne.
Yeah.
I see, just a classic, kind of like Rich Buckler, Ken Landgraf influences. He's definitely channeling Wizards on this one. But the colors are,
Yes.
um, you know, bright, limited palette, basically flat colors. And this one says, warning, adult content. Oh, there's a but there. Yeah, so if anybody wants to follow him, Alexi Gorboot. I never reached out to him or anything, but maybe if you want to, he could be a good guest if he speaks English. Um, I assume he speaks English because he's posting in English. So that's who I was inspired by when I made my latest poster. And last night we just went by the club in Brooklyn, and we dropped off the posters, hung them up on the window and in the wall. And um, the club is called Pete's Candy Store in Brooklyn. It's a really small state. I don't know how we're gonna do this. Uh, Last night they had like some guy doing acoustic, and we're supposed to get a whole band up there, so it might be interesting uh, to squeeze down, but we'll manage. I was gonna say to our drummer, maybe he wants to play with brushes instead of sticks. We'll see when we get there because it's a kind of a crampy space. We have a gig on September 14th, which is a Sunday gig actually.
Yeah.
We took it because we're not going on too late, and then they put us on a later slot, so
Of course.
on a Sunday night. But we'll see what's going on in Brooklyn. And I just have to feather these. So I'm starting out with some Kirby dots. Um, just kind of make it look like her. There's some energy around her hands. Um, and I'm going to design these a little bit better when I get to it, but just making them here. So it's funny that you're selecting these artworks that you have. You're just blowing up the camera shots I gave you.
Yeah, we're not. Yeah, I don't even know blowing up. I'm just doing it. 8.5 by 11.
Right, because you're picking the characters that I don't know who they are, but we'll figure that out. That'll be fun. Don't really didn't really ID them yet. I have some stuff like that. Yeah. When are we gonna go over the sketches that I'm sending you to ink though? Because I have them here, and we could go over them anytime. Like
Okay,
now.
but then yeah, now it's fine. But the only concern I have is the quality of reproduction. You know, scanned is my preferred, but if that's not
I
going to
think they're
happen, I
coming
guess we'll
out
just.
fine that way. If I only give you a camera scan, I was gonna try to get my printer on uh Friday, but my I was supposed to go some with my brother, but he stood me up and he went by himself. This was the black and white line art for the poster, and I left it kind of sparse and colored it. I actually had to change the date from the 21st to the 14th, but I used the little Japanese ink pen on this. I love that pen really a lot. I don't know what they're called, but I think they're Kodatakes.
Futatake.
Yeah. All right. So I'm making some room back here so we can look at some sketches. Now here's a sketch of Esoterra, and there's a cool
Well, don't you
background.
think that this all has to do with what the written content's going to be?
Well, yeah, we can choose the artwork first and then put the written content that matches, or vice versa.
That's fine by me. That's fine by me.
Um, I think this was an Esoterra that I was going to give you anyway to ink for Alex, right? Are we supposed to be submitting some art to him for his New God series?
I don't know. Alex, are we?
Alex Turbin?
Yeah, I'm just putting a audio note. I don't think he's in the live chat right now, but I'm sure he'll swing by and check us out. Um,
Um,
and by the way, have you seen his air bike design?
no, but he told me he was doing it, and I was
Pretty
like,
sweet.
more
Pretty
power to you.
sweet.
Let's check it
He
out.
might have sent it. He might have sent it to you Instagram message.
Well, I told him to just text my phone if he wants me, and he did. So I think that's how he's reaching me. But um, this is just another one of those colorful faces I gotta finish. Uh, this was this was Silverella. She's a kind of a new character, and I don't know how she fits, but um, I didn't really finish this one either. This is just in progress, so I'm gonna table that one. I'm trying to show a good view. Here we go. You can kind of see everything. Come back on. Let's move along. It's gonna be interesting to see what we have here for you to ink. This looks like it's gonna be a Silverella sketch. I am going with the name Silverella, I think, as opposed to Silverina. I don't know. What do you think? What do you like better?
Silverella.
Yeah. Yeah, it was used, but it wasn't used since the '90s, and it was used in a TV show, and it doesn't look like they did anything currently with the character since like 1993. So um, I don't know if I'm going to be publishing it like in print, so I'm not worried too much. All right, I'm gonna have to close this temporarily. Let me hit save so I don't lose my work. This is not auto saving. Yeah, as I'm looking at this, I'm going to this will take up some room. I'm just AD'd in here, but this is gonna. I think it'll take up more room. I want to take up more room with this, so I'm gonna split this into two, followed up by. I'll split this into two. Photon. This will say photonic blaster, and we'll move it down like this. Gotta fit this in. It's so weird that this is some kind of weird paragraph spacing, but I gotta move it all the way up. Followed up by Chromita, raining photonic. I can change the words here. This says it was time for the Hellclaw to strike back. So we could say followed by Chromita, raining photonic blaster fire, and then ... And then down here, on the next panel, it'll say with deadly precision. So it kind of kills me to go over any art, but we gotta do it. I'll have to use this, make this box like this. So I'm doing the text panel and the background box separate. And this will look something like that. Followed by Chromito. So we can say who rains photonic blaster fire ... And then down here it'll say with deadly precision. And we'll get a little piece of box back here. It's nice when the box has some airspace around the letters, but it's kind of like my pet peeve about wasted space. So I could put that deadly precision over here in the corner. What do you think? There's a spot here above her. There's a spot here down here where nothing's going on. Or up here in the corner. And the guys are going to be saying, ugh, irk, eek.
Probably, I would stick it near her.
Above her?
Yeah. Even, leaning towards, between her head and the, yeah.
Okay. So it's not really knocking into anything here. All right. Let's make this a little wider. Get some airspace around it. And then drop it down a pinch. Or bring this up a pinch. Yeah. Yeah, all right. So now I just got to go back to the art. So I'm hitting save there. All right. I was just about to close this. So we can look at some of these sketches and see where we're at. End of the world sketches. This is where they all belong. All right. So now you could ink these for the next anthology, or you could just ink them for something in the future too. But you'll tell me what to send. Here we have an Esoteric poster, and in the background there's like some fighting going on with some.
You gotta hit center. I can't see it. You gotta center it.
All right, let's see. So it's an Esoteric poster with some fighting going on in the background.
Now this is the motivation here is spot illustration. So anything I'm going to do, even though it's 8.5 by 11, is going to get shot down. You know, once again, we can bring it back to back matter in Turbo Teaser.
Yeah, they're going to be shot down to
two. Be... So because I had done these two, Mr. and Mrs. Ike, you know, that same. But these were 8.5 by 11, and then they just got shot down to these little spot illustrations. So what you're showing me right now is like a full page illustration. So that's just going to eat up a ton of my time. And then will it end up fitting into what it is we want to do? You know, that'll be
I don't have too many small in small illustrations. I don't have too many done ready to go for you. Some of them I actually ink myself, or you know, or in progress. This is Elevena with Young Turbo, and this is
hold it up. Your camera's very high, Jake. So I think that's also you're doing that on purpose so you can show off the art, right?
So this you've had this on the stack before. This is Young Turbo and Elevena. So that's like
like I said, a lot of that stuff you're showing me, I have. It's just shitty photographs. That's just my biggest complaint. It's hard for me to get a really nice flat, you know, without any kind of like gradation, without spending an hour and a half in Photoshop trying to knock it out. That's why just having flatbed scanning is just so much easier, and to get you into the habit of just constantly scanning things as you're moving along to ship it over to me. Because the other thing too is, you know, is variant versions. You know, I'm not worried about who does what in the end. You could have a version, I could have a version. You know, one could get published, you know, in issue 1, one could get published in issue number 3. So I'm not attached to any of this formality in, you know, running a proper publication. I'm just concerned for having stuff done in the way of like material to lay into the, you know, the end of the world matter, you know, the end of the world timeline matter from our Substack. So if you just put those goggles on and give me 5, 6, just, I mean, like, you know, I just need really good, flat, clean, even lit, either shots, photograph wise or scanning. If anything, if you're going to take photographs, go outside in the sun, nice sunny day, because then it'll definitely be even.
I was either going to just send you the originals or get the scanner, but you know, things are getting a little busy. Right now, at this moment, I was just going over the sketches to see which ones you wanted, or which ones we wanted to deal with, to give you stuff for the zine pages. Here I have one of a picture of Elevena holding a advanced instrument.
Yeah.
That was all in blue line pencil.
That's a good one.
Here's Elevena when she's older in the prison.
Yeah.
Same thing, holding some instruments. So we could show her like before and after, maybe.
That's cool.
This one is Elevena just like lifting some weights. Over here. And this is a sketch from the Reen Paw story. So this is Reen Paw's farm. This is like a montage of all the characters in pencil. We're not running the Reen Paw story, so nobody's doing the art for that. So I guess we'll skip that. This is the first concept sketch of Dr. Bruno Moroder and Bianca.
Gotta hold them higher, Jake, or drop your camera.
Okay. And this is the little captive Charvel. Here they are a little better. This one might make some sense to do. It's the Marauders. Beyond, and this was a lot closer to how it ended up. And these are like the concept sketches that Ken used for the 6-pager. So maybe if we want to, if we have this on a zine page, it could preface the the Ken Landgraf 6-pager and explain who the bad guys are, so they're not coming out.
Love that idea. I love that idea. And that's like I said, though, that's a more involved illustration that would have its own page. So, just as long as we get an understanding of, spot illustration, the whole page illustration.
Yeah, this will be shot down, and there'll be text flowing around it. There already is text flowing around it, but we'll make it the zine text that we have, and we'll make them the right size so that they fits on the page together with some story. This is like a mind map that we went over before. Here we have the Duke. Now the Duke is going to be appearing. So this was an early concept sketch for the Duke, and here he is close up.
Now that's three. I would illustrate that for 3 separate illustrations, spot illustrations.
Yeah, that could be. But do we want to have our versions of the Duke to preface? We have a lot of writing for the Duke, and it makes the most sense to do the zine pages of the casualties and the Duke rather than something else. But here is like kind of like a concept page of Cromita in different styles, and there's text all around. So some close-ups and some body torso shots. This is an old cover of Turbo pencils. You have an ink version of that somewhere. This is an early.
That's the back of. That's the back of
Turbo Teaser 2. Yep. Here's the front cover pencils, and I'm gonna be bringing these to the next show and just trying to sell the originals of these.
Oh, I'll buy them off you.
Oh yeah. I don't care. Generate some money to subsidize some more art. This is who? This is Charvel later in life when she gets a hold of the cleaver, the reality cleaver, and Esoterra is in the background there. So that storyline hasn't been developed too much. We just had Charvel's early days, and she's the victim or the damsel in distress in the casualty story that we're going to read. But here she is. This is who she will become later in life when she gets equipped with the tool. And of course, she's really tall. She's 6'8". That one's already kind of inked. This is Mean Paw arming up, getting ready for the battle. I'm putting that on the side because we don't have any art. This is just a breakdown page for the script of Company Man, and so it's on a big piece of paper, but it's like this is like the breakdown sketches for each page of a 6-pager. This is how I laid the whole thing out before I wrote the script, and that might be helpful to somebody who's laying it out. This is an unused Turbo cover. I guess we'll use this eventually with lettering above, and it's got Turbo and Trophy here.
How
and
old is
she's
that
got,
sketch?
what's that?
How old is that sketch?
Decades.
Right, right. That's what I thought.
um, Here is Shankar Vaisha in a superposition, which means two positions at once. And there's a lot of just text flowing around her. This is kind of like
Now we're
Mad
anticipating
Men's.
six end of the world timeline illustrated text from the Substack,
Yeah.
right? Is
So,
that what
well, we need
our original?
at least one before each six pager, right?
Yeah,
Um,
yeah,
I mean, a six pager or 11 pager.
right.
Um, so this is baby Esoterra with her mother, Dr. Madeline Terra, and this could, in a background of the shanty that the baby was rescued from, um, and it's kind of like a full page drawing. If we were going to run the text that had the origin story of how Esoterra was found, then this illustration to use. I don't know if you need to have the whole background. You could also one thing you could do is like ink this and then have all this kind of light and ghosty with words superimposed, but I don't know if that kind of a waste. Um, this was kind of like an artsy fartsy chromita sketch with chrome letters in the back, and her hand is turning into like a triple razor weapon. She doesn't look like she did. This was kind of an early concept sketch. Um, these are the three characters that are going to be at the end of issue number 2. This is the entourage of a wrestler, and he ended up he looks a little like the Duke, but he's going to have the stuff on his eyes, and he'll also wear a wrestler mask in the sequence. But these guys are all going to get slaughtered by the unbeknownst one in the last page of issue number 2. In the last pages of issue number 2. This is just a turbo pin, just doing nothing here, just sitting around. Um, this is Hellclaw, and it's partially inked already. There's a lot of like pencil toning in it, and it also has the iron mask. So if we do a page of Hellclaw, it'll explain about her kind of like solo adventures and like her origin
Yeah,
story.
yeah,
But
yeah,
there's some writing to that too.
yeah.
But she's appearing in the casualty six pager. Um, this is supposed to be Polska. This is just an early sketch, and she's got the black vein, which isn't good. Um, this isn't very finished, so let's skip that. There's a face. I don't know why this is even in here, but it's kind of like painted a little. Yeah, there's a little of this is painted and a little of this is drawn and inked. This is multimedia. Um, Here's another action pose of Hellclaw fighting a demonic apparition.
That's sweet. To make it easy on you, you just might as well just chuck them all in a big old folder and send them to me,
Yeah,
since I have everything else.
and here is a this might fit better into like a zine page, because the others are like full page pins, but this is a Hellclaw and her mask with a name. in
Yeah, because that kind of stuff gets me inspired to do some color pieces too. Just working off of whatever you're laying down there, which I can just scan and then print out and then just start working right over the top of it. Um, you know, but we don't have an interior. This would be maybe a graphic or I don't know for the full color version stuff.
This is an esoteric pin that is inked and colored and looks a little cartoony, but this would be good for something in color, I think. And I don't think you ever ran this on the Substack.
Yeah, I can't remember.
I don't recall it because it would have been in color. And here is the the only concept sketch we have, or maybe like the bigger. Yeah, this is one of two concept sketches we have for the Unbeknownst one, where he'll wear like a leather mask.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like it's kind of done in like the soft charcoal, I think. You sent me some graphite stick or something. So that's it. Those are the sketches that I've been saving up for you. I have plenty more that are in pads that haven't been separated from pads yet. And I have some other stuff in sketchbooks. But maybe we want to lay out the book where there's like a zine page or two preceding the casualties that explains the whole backstory that's on the Substack. We have a lot of prose on the Substack, and if we if we put it all in, or if we have it edited down to more of a condensed version, oops, excuse me, sorry about that. I think that it might, be better for clarity. I pulled these two, the Duke and the Marauders. So I can send them your way, and then don't know what of the others, or else you said send them all over. So this is what we're going to be sorting out over the next 3 weeks or so, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
I mean, the worst case scenario is I can always, I can return to inking the 6 pages for the next teaser or the next featuring Turbo Pit Fighter Doom Mags #2, because I have the skeletal 80% line drawings all done and scanned. So, I just want busy work, for every episode that we, get together on to be leading to something publishing wise, printing wise.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, there's definitely no harm in you just inking later pages. That's for sure. But
Yeah.
if you're inking something, I would just say, prioritize the things that we're going to publish. I'm trying to update this. It's not updating, so I'm gonna have to I guess re-import it. This is page 3 because I just saved the version, and no, it's supposed to be ghosted. Well, I don't know why this didn't save. Oh, okay, I never saved it. So let's try this again. Update. Now we should see the Kirby dots appearing here. Yeah. All right. And all right. So now I don't have to do as many. That was a good suggestion. So now I don't have to do as many speed lines, but I'm going to do some speed lines here. And that character, I assumed, would be one of the enhanced super squadron females, on the rectifiers. That's what my thinking was anyway. But which one? Oh, and we just passed by the list. I should have stopped there. That was dopey of me. Because we had the list of names on one of these. And we might even want to make it. I might even want to make an index. Yeah, I want to pull this one in particular here. This is when I was thinking about. Okay. See this list right here?
No, I can't. It's off camera. You're always like, see this over here?
I'm putting it right in front of the camera, but it's like.
Yeah, but you're pretty closed in on it. But I see Chevelle, Shadow, Pitch Blonde, Claudra. I don't see any image, but.
And Chevelle. Well, the image is here. You saw this one.
Oh yeah.
This is Chevelle. Yeah, so this is an important list. I'm going to copy this list. And Chevron, Claudra, Pitch Blend, Shadow, and Charvel. Unless we change some of these names. So one of those character that sketch you just made, this could be one of those characters. But in the story, Elabina, when she develops her human enhancement formula, it's like it's not just a drug or anything. It's like a procedure that she does on hooked up to machines. Oh, you know what? And I have sketches of it. I don't know if they're immediately handy, but she's gonna do this with 5 of these recruits or 5 of these glowers that are rescued, Charvel being the first one, and they all get enhanced so that they end up with powers or abilities that are based on Esoterra's supernatural abilities and to do stuff. And we're gonna go over them one by one in their own solo stories eventually. But here is Pitch Blend, and trying to get in front of the camera. Pitch Blend rescuing Rania, and this was in the Company Man story, and she it takes some doing, but she does it. Here's another sketch of Hawkwind, who's 7'11", so she's a giantess, and we're fulfilling our promise to feature the giantesses. So I think I'm gonna pull this at this point, put this on the heap.
Yeah, there's nothing stopping us from teasing also. I mean, I understand that you want to mechanically have value to interlock the prose illustration Substack material to actual comic book formatted material, but there's nothing, once again, to stop us from doing, if not a 2-pager like the back matter and turbo teaser number 2, yeah, I mean, just people like, what the heck is that? Wow, look at that little blurb. Oh, wow, that's a cool character. And maybe even hear it from people. They're like, hey, when's Pitch Blend going to be coming into,
here we
Turbo
go.
story?
Here's one of the sketches. It's a little rough, or it's a little maybe unfinished, but this is going to be what it looks like when the characters are being enhanced. They're connected to a machine and all these like sensors and stuff, and then Elevator's in the background running the machines. This looks like the character that you just drew, and I originally was going to call her Quadra, but I changed it last minute to Claudra. I don't know if that sounds too close to Hellclaw, because Hellclaw's real name is Claudine Mars. But this says the principle of dispersion, repeatable Q science. There was a Q particle research fellow named By Martin Festwick Jr. He was sworn to secrecy in a corporate hush contract, but he released the rights publicly, and he withheld data use from anyone but Esoterra. Thus, the need to enhance the intelligence through intense specific disbursement theory. And then here is the starry soup in proximity. So this is a bunch of elements that are being heated up and magnetized in proximity to this enhancement taking place, because some of the elements will float over and be used in this enhancement technique. But I guess I'll pull this one out at this point, and this is a contender to send to you. And we know that this is not Pitch Blend, and we know that this is not Charvel. So,
all right. So time check is 11:15, which means we need to close this episode down because we've got a Scott Harris King interview to follow. We'll be recording that and releasing it. I just finished editing this morning. Our Alfred Carchiri interview for him, so that'll be coming out this week. Jeff Lafferty is on the 14th. He just gave us a little shout out. He's back on the board with his Jeff Lafferty YouTube channel, so he'll be giving regular updates again. Glad to see that. He's very supportive, at least for me, to be able to watch somebody work and discuss what their trials and tribulations are, and obviously the excitement coming through. So it's going to be a great interview with him. And then we have two more, which these will be the last two, or this is the last one from our IC3, which is Ian Cinco's Neon Spring. And then we'll be starting some new, off the list, which is Steve Arena's Zombie Date Night. So, we're cooking. But next week, we are going to have 2 live episodes. One live episode will be what we just experienced right now, which is the making a turbo. And then Jake and I have book hauls. So we're just going through our our comics that influence hauls. I'll be going through my YouTube / my comic shop purchasing, and then I'll even have a follow-up. I'll have even the second batch that I just pulled the trigger on for mycomicshop.com. But yeah, you want to take us out, Jake?
Sure. Thanks for checking us out, checking in with us, folks. We are making a comic book here on our flagship series, Making Turbo Pit Fighter. You can see the disorganized, grabastic, things that we go through on a daily basis, but we're documenting the whole process. Check out our other series. We have the Comics to Influence, where we do flip throughs, and the indie creator interviews on our Indie Comic Exchange, and those are all findable on our landing page at youtube.com. Just look up Turbo Pit Fighter or Google it. So check you out next Sunday around 10 a.m. Eastern, and we'll be here.
And the second printing of the second Turbo teaser has been completed and will be in the kurtbrugel.com shop within the next couple days, and really excited to also get this out in the exchange, our indie creator exchange. So awesome, Jake. Looking forward to next Sunday, as always.
All right. See you then. See you in the funny business.